Okay, guys, out of order, we're going to take House Bill 5191. 5191 is by Rep. Patricia Serpa. This is regarding business and professions, the Board of Medical Licensure and Discipline, which prohibits Board of Medical Licensure and Discipline from requiring specialty board certification as a condition of licensure. We do have two people to testify verbally. We have written testimony from over 25 groups. The majority of those are in favor of this legislation. You would have to consult your folder. This testimony is accessible to all of you. Those of you who are virtual, the next time you come into the State House, all of you other here, you can pick up a packet for all the verbal written testimony for all of the bills that we have this evening. So I would like to call our first witness regarding House Bill 5191, if we can get that person on the line. Hello, this is Representative Casey. Who am I speaking with? Hello?
Hello?
Yes,
Good evening.
This must be Deborah.
Yes, this is Dr. Debbie McIntyre. Is this Chairman Casey?
Yes, this is Chairman Casey from the House Health and Human Services Committee. I have you before us testifying on House Bill 5191. I apologize for the late hour, but this is your opportunity to speak before our committee. If you would keep your testimony brief and to the point, we would appreciate it. And you go right ahead. You have our attention. Go ahead.
Oh, sure. This is... Hello?
Yes, good evening.
Sorry, there's feedback. So, good evening, Chairman Casey and distinguished members of the committee. Thank you for this opportunity to speak tonight on behalf of Bill H5191 from Chairman Serpa. Thank you, Chairwoman Serpa, and Chairman Bennett and Representative Phillips and Representative Lima for sponsoring this bill. I am a president of the Rhode Island Physicians for Quality Care, representing the opinion of over 600 Rhode Island physicians on this issue. I've been practicing in Rhode Island for over 24 years, a graduate of Brown residency program, board certified twice, a former chief of psychiatry at Kent, and have privileges at Landmark, Lifespan, and Care New England. We appreciate the committee's previous hearing on this bill, which has the support of several hundred licensed doctors here in Rhode Island. We believe that staying current with the best medical practices is essential for quality care, and that continuing medical education provides education in both established knowledge and cutting-edge research. We believe in a physician's freedom to choose their educational direction based on the particular practices in order to maximize the use of their educational time. Continuing medical education is required for licensure, and this bill does not affect that in any way. To reiterate what we had talked about 2 weeks ago, thank you for listening again, there is a shortage of physicians in Rhode Island and nationwide. As you note in some of the bills that were listened to tonight, they're talking about having access to physicians. It's a difficult problem. This bill ensures that the shortage is not made worse by arbitrary requirements created by out-of-state, unregulated, billion-dollar private companies. This bill is a compromise bill based on the policies of the American Medical Association and their model bill called the Right to Treat. The American Medical Association is the largest national physicians organization, and they created a model bill, and this bill is based on that. A more comprehensive version of this bill passed the Rhode Island Senate almost unanimously in 2019 and 2018. This bill essentially codifies current practices in Rhode Island, ensuring that a new trademarked product worth $1 billion to this company called Maintenance of Certification or Continued Certification, also called MOC, which is owned by this private company, does not interfere with a physician's right to treat their patients and a patient's right to have their doctor. At this time, MOC is not required for licensure or insurance panels in Rhode Island, and this bill ensures that it remains not required to practice medicine in Rhode Island, joining at least 15 other states and many others with pending bills, including Massachusetts. This bill helps physicians, patients, and hospitals. This bill will save taxpayers money and cost $0. It will improve patient access to health care by keeping physicians practicing in Rhode Island. It will attract quality doctors looking to focus on patient care. It will reduce unnecessary spending in health care that does not improve patient outcomes. It will give patients more time with their doctors, who will have more time for patient care. It will reduce institutional discrimination against younger doctors, women, and minorities. And it will ensure fairness for all Rhode Island doctors and not those just benefiting from the private company's moneyed interests. This program that we're dealing with, maintenance of certification, or MOC, is supposed to be a voluntary process. Even the company itself has created its own vision commission and stated that AVMS must encourage hospitals, health systems, payers, and other healthcare organizations to not deny credentialing or privileging to physicians solely on the basis of this certification status. Why it's important. Although MOC and board certification is not required for licensure in any state, this bill is necessary because these private companies have been trying to make it a requirement that physicians buy their products in order to practice medicine, in spite of the fact that there is no evidence that those who are buying the products are better than those who are not. These companies now have combined assets of $1 billion. The MOC product earns them over $200 million per year. They are essentially a monopoly, and the parent company is being sued for restraint of trade. Having a monopoly in anything is not good, but in medicine it's a particular problem. They're also trying to link their company to the medical compact, and the compact was added to last year's budget. States wanting to keep their physicians practicing in their states have passed similar bills to this one. This bill is important because over 25% of Rhode Island physicians are not board certified or eligible to buy these products. As mentioned, it is not required for licensure insurance panels currently, but if it does become linked to licensure insurance panels, then over 1,000 physicians might not be able to practice, and hundreds of thousands of patients might lose their doctor. Of those physicians who are required to buy the product by their employer, over 88% of those surveyed by the company itself don't find the product valuable, and many are finding it burdensome or unrelated to their practice. And many are considering quitting because of it. 2 weeks ago, Dr. Levine, who is the governor of the Rhode Island Cardiology Association here in Rhode Island, testified that over 30% of the thousands of cardiologists who were surveyed nationwide by their national company, their society, are considering quitting, cutting down, or changing to non-clinical careers because of this trademark product MOC. We need cardiologists. We can't afford to lose physicians because of monopolies.
Okay.
MOC is essentially a monopoly.
Deborah, thank you. I'm just, in the interest of time, you did submit some written legislation, and also you included the names of all the doctors of the group that you represent.
Sure.
So,
I wanted to also let you know that we had engaged with productive talks with the Rhode Island Medical Society.
yes.
And they have agreed to the compromise language that is acceptable to both of our groups.
That's what I wanted to hear. Thank you very
All
much.
right.
So, I think that's a nice segue. But no, I appreciate that. I had heard that you folks were trying to get together on this, and that's a good example of what we try to do here, is find a good compromise. So I do appreciate your testimony. Certainly, as things go forward, if we can come up with the language that's going to be appropriate and make this more palatable for all parties involved, I think that's going to be a great thing. Does anybody have any questions? Yep, go ahead.
We did come up with language, and I could tell you what the update is if you're interested. It essentially updates the continued board certification by adding in their medical specialty. It takes out all the references to the names of all the medical specialty boards in the original bill, and it removes paragraphs 4, 5, 6 from section 3. So
Yeah.
we've all agreed on that too.
Okay, so we're going to get the technical changes, and I'm sure what will have to happen is we'll have a sub-A of the bill, which will be the edited version, and then we'll come back here and have another hearing, and I'm sure we can hear from you again. But I do appreciate your testimony. Does anybody have any questions at this time? It's great to hear that we got a compromise. I appreciate that. If you would, Deborah, I appreciate it. We're going to move on to our next witness, if you don't mind. Thank you very much for your testimony. I know it's very late.
Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you. Okay, the person who was supposed to testify next, we could not get an answer from on their phone. They also, I believe, may have put in written testimony as well. So at this point, I'm going to close the hearing on House Bill 5191. Thank you for your patience. We have a few more left, if you guys can just hang with us here.